guys, it's Pheasant, and welcome back to Minecraft, where here you guys are joining me for episode 1 of my new Minecraft Let's Play, where things are actually a little different here. As you can see, we are starting out with a bit more than nothing, as I have 142 levels and full netherite pretty much, as we are here in a world that we have been working on since just about November, on and off. There has been a big break as we really did a lot of work in the beginning, but you know how the 2 week phase goes. But I thought it was just about time to start up a playthrough on this world, as it really means a lot to me, and I think there's a lot that we can do here. I have done a bunch of terraforming around this world, and just about this area is where we spawned in, and I took a journey up this mountain and made this my home by making my little lookout area up top. I really enjoyed making this build, as it just gave me a great view over the valley and everything that we are going to see and work on for the series to come. And today I am going to give a little tour of all the things I personally have worked on, along with just a few little teases of what the other guys have worked on, as we have a total of 19 members that have logged onto the server. But I've done some of my best builds, and I have a lot of ideas for the future, so I really hope you guys enjoy. Leave a like and subscribe, as there is a lot more coming. And the final thing I want to add is this was all done in survival on Bedrock 1.21 on a realm, and this is where it's all going to be taking place. So I hope you guys really enjoy, as we'll first be coming on inside, where this is where I had my little base set up. We'll be coming downstairs where I had a little second floor made, where I just was able to have a little bit more storage, as of course you get a lot of resources in this game. We'll head on down and we'll take a great look at just the outcome of this build, and I really love it. And I use a little Firewatch inspiration, and I just loved the whole design of this, and it was a great starter build for the whole world. And you guys will see a lot of this tough path going on around, as I'm trying to stick to one pathway. First, let's head on over this way, as it is kind of an eye catcher and my first major build of the world. And I mean, it was a real blast to make. And you guys will see some of my creations, as this mountain was, once more whole, and I was able to take it down, and I used a lot of it to kind of mend this design that I brought around, as I think it adds a nice little touch. And I am nowhere near finished, but the final design will be worth it. Let's focus back on over here, as you can hear some moving around inside of minecarts, and I mean, you guys can truly see how big this build is, but I really love the arches and just the whole structure of it, of how it has all the tuff here, then the mangrove and birch. And coming on in is where we're met to this huge hall, and this is where the server gets all of their wool, and I had a blast making this, as it is a 64 wool sheep farm, which is just insane. But we can check any chest, and I mean, they are just full. Like, we have at least pretty much one double chest full of everything that we need. There are some stairs over here, and once you go up is the last 4 colors, which these are honestly some of my favorites. So I'm kind of sad they're kind of tucked away, as green is a great color. But you can come on out onto the grates and be able to walk above, as it's a pretty cool little thing. I just wanted to add a nice use of the copper. But you can see all the machines back here working the sheep hard, and honestly, I have not refilled the shears in a while, so I bet they are pretty empty soon. Early on, I had plans of making this kind of my main base and have like an elytra entrance in, and up here on the 3rd floor I kind of started this design, and I wanted kind of a hall of armor and just these like relics, and then out here I was going to have a storage system and some living space and maybe a bedroom. As you guys can see, it truly is a ton of space still in this building. But let's say bye to all 64 sheep, as we are going to head to the opposite direction of the watchtower down the mountain. And once we get out here, we're met to another view of a few buildings that are done and a few that are still in progress, as we kind of exit the sheep factory, and there's a nice little wall surrounding it along with this tough floor. But we will come on over to this building, which has an awesome car, which I had a lot of fun making. It's just kind of like, I don't know, a Ferrari maybe, who knows. But we'll come on up to this door that has a nice little flower area, and this is the ice metro, Where in here I have a nice little decoration along with some leaves and a nice little pop-up shop, just whatever you need, grass and cobble and stone. But in here is where the magic really happens, as there is the men's bathroom, and once you go in here, this is a way down to the ice metro, which we'll be checking out shortly. And upstairs really quick, we just have a nice little bed here. But don't forget about that ice metro, as we will be seeing more of it later. But this is kind of a quick, easy way to get around the main spawn area. This next building here was going to be some sort of apartment complex where I wanted to have a big cactus farm, along with I could probably fit another farm in here as well. As one of my many goals in this world is to be able to get all the dye types pretty easy, and so a lot of those will turn out to be farms of such. But we will come out here and sadly not go much farther, but you can see all the path work that has been done along with later bridge projects. We'll take a quick look outside at the beef shop, where this is where we get all the food that we need, even though I do use a lot from my guardian farm. But all the beef is here, and it's a cool little place with a cow on a plate. We'll come around to the back where we're going over another great bridge spot that's going to be in the future, as we get a great look at the factory and the big smokestacks, which will have smoke later on. But another thing I want to focus on is all of this land here. You can kind of see how it's only one block deep, and that's because I was able to mine all the terrain out, as I wanted a lot more water. And you can even see that there's a cave that I made that goes right on through the base and over to the other side where it connects up. I really like the idea of just having like a boat race or just a way to get around and see all the bases from the water. So I think it's a really cool idea. We're gonna run back on up to the factory and head on over this way down the path. And as you guys can see, I did a lot of this wall all the way down, and there's a lot of terrain here. As you can see, all of this water, it looks much more smooth and going through the area. We'll get a quick little look on over to this base over here, which is still growing as the member is still active. But the mountain is really cool that he's working on, as he's really carved it away, and he's been trying to add all of his moss, and also his waterfall going down into the cavern is really cool. We do have huge ideas of a giant bridge here that's kind of Dark Souls themed, and that is to come, as that will probably be one of the biggest projects I've worked on. There's another look at that crazy Liverpool statue. That thing's really awesome. But we will continue our way down here as we get a good look at one of my greatest creations, which has not been finished yet, but we will get there in good time. But we can kind of see down below, as I've been working in this cave area, as it was kind of my first major project of the area, which is still growing. Once down here, we can kind of get a good look, as I kind of carved out this cave area and left it all natural, and it looks really nice, as I've been able to put in 3 buildings so far, and I have a lot more space for more. This little pond here to be able to jump down when I didn't have an elytra, but here I have a little sugarcane place, which I make all of my auto bamboo, which you can really make a lot in here. Coming back out though, we will hit this spot last, as next I have my little shack here, which actually holds all of my storage, and this is really where everything happens, and I'm able to set up and collect for my next project, where I try to stay as organized as possible, and it's gotten a little out of hand. I do have plans of kind of moving out. I don't really have a full base to call mine, so it definitely will be time soon, and maybe you guys can give me some great ideas of what exactly I should build in the future. But coming on out, there is our way down to the mines here, which I really like, along with this way on out to the bridge area and towards the sheep factory. Final thing I have here is the to-do board, which I made this quite a bit ago, more when I first made these buildings and such, and quite a few of these have been crossed off, and a lot more is to be done. Our next spot, really quickly, will be going down this hole, which is my first project after the Watchtower, and I had a lot of fun making this as the design I've really been wanting to do on like a museum, and I still haven't been able to get the time to do that, but I was happy to get an idea here with a spawner. And I have brought in these paintings, and this is a skeleton spawner where we have this tinted glass, and we can see them spawning in now as they'll be sent on over down here for me to hit them one shot, and it is really nice, and it was a super good farm for early on as I have so much bone meal and so many levels all from it. We just have a nice little like enchant station and a nice little table with a nice wide 180 view here. And coming back through this door is where all the storage happens, along with a really nice lookout into the cave and his slime, as this was just an easy way to get on out, maybe get some obsidian. But it was really fun making this place as it was underground and just provided a lot of different options. Alright, well this isn't so much of a tour video as it is a first episode of a long let's play, but I will show you guys a little bit of my last build here, the giant mall, where I have done a ton of work, and we'll take a little spin outside as I have made quite a few of these trees here, which some people like, some people don't, but I do really enjoy them, and maybe they'll change later on, but I like the little modern feel we have, along with this bridge that we have in many directions that will cross on over onto more land where there are a lot of things going on in the future. But this really took a lot of time, but was a blast to make the exterior of the place. And we'll take a little walk in as there is a lot to do. And you guys may be wondering at this point, what is this place? I am holding all the types of villagers, and they're all going to be held up in these shops. And it'll just be a nice, easy way for everyone on the realm to just take a look around and be able to get the books that they need. So right here is a two-story area where we wanted to build a Barnes and Nobles, and that still will be going on as we have a lot of librarians and a lot we still need to make, as I really hope to fill out this whole area, and I do have some great plans for it. But to not get ahead of ourselves, we'll take a walk around to the front as we pass the fish shop, and this is supposed to be like the main entrance where we are still obviously working on a lot here. But the idea is you come on in one of the four entrances, and we have a nice staircase on this side along with some nice water, and we just have some stars at the top. But all the shops here will be done eventually, and they'll be bursting with life of all the villagers and such. But I wanted to have a little design in the middle, along with these are just some market stands which will be full eventually. Here are the masons where they are just working hard on all the items, making sure they're all the right sizes and sculpted right. I want to focus quickly on the tree in the middle, and I really just wanted to get the good idea of like a giant tree in a mall, because you know there usually is one, and it's kind of bursting up all the floors. We have like the farmer's shop where they have all the goodies that they need, and it just is really nice. Along with here is the elevator which they go up and down on, along with come on over from the breeder over there. Alright, we are going to skip some floors and just head to the top, as I will be able to show you guys once we work on it together in a future episode. But over here is where the office would be, along with a little security area, and I'll have a nice big rug on the floor. And then over here will be a nice little conference room, a big table. Finally, over here is some nice little office rooms that we'll be in. But I'm really excited about how everything will turn out, as the mall is my biggest project. But I have a lot of ideas planned, as we first will be building in this area right here, as I have big plans for a bee factory. I want to say that I've been playing ever since Minecraft really came out, as my gamer tag was made with the game, and I just really have been loving it all over the years. And I've grown to build a lot of experience, and as a builder especially, as that is what I really love to do. I hope you guys have been enjoying this so far, and if so, you guys will really enjoy the future, as I have a lot planned, and I really just want to share my ideas with you guys and just get inspiration for your guys' builds. But as we fly on down, we'll come over to this portal and this area, which is where I really want to build this bee factory. And so everything for this bee factory I actually have gathered in this chest. This is just the basic supplies I need, and I'm gonna need a lot more glass, as there's gonna be this really open top view kind of like a little greenhouse vibe, but I want to have areas for the bees to just be able to fly around along with a tree, but have, of course, no way for them to get out. And I just want to build this strong structure that has, some wood, some, denser products, and just have it all together. So I really want to take up this space, and I have plans for a little bit of like a supply area back here where like maybe we can have a truck in this like little garage where I'll just be able to barrel off supplies of the honey. But without further ado, I think I'm going to start out with some deep slate as we are going to need a lot of this for the base. So first I want to start off with a little path here, and this can be a little walkway up to the factory doors. And I just want to bring in the same tough style as it really is nice. How did you get here? Well, you enjoy that, buddy. And we're gonna start by having this kind of outline here, and I want to create some sort of depth. So we'll do 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 like that, and then we can kind of change our pattern over on this side, but I think that'll really work out well. Okay, well, I have figured out the raw structure of the base of it with just this board to figure out exactly how much space I'm working with. But up next, let me just fill in these walls really quick, and then we're going to start working on the floor and some color with the next part. For the second part of the wall, I'm just going to go for this wall design here with these stairs facing upward in the middle along the side, and I think it just adds a nice little touch of depth. Alright, well, I finished up the walls right here, and I have this nice little indent design, and this is just the whole thing coming around. But the next job is to actually get stairs to go on up to go in, as that's going to be the ground level, and below down here is where I plan to have the actual bee auto farm. Alright, so now we're just going to bring in some of the stairs as they are just going to come on up like this. And we're gonna have a 2 wide door here, I think. Alright, so there's a nice little staircase. And now a little balcony. And now I went ahead and I wanted to test out my design as I want this dark oak kind of feel with the stone. It really is a nice different block from the deep slate as we build on up, and it's going to be pretty tall. We're going to have to make sure to get all this detail as we go around, and we're going to have to fill this balcony a little bit with like a little bench. But the plan is going to be in here to have a nice little look in room. Then there's going to be 2 doorways right here and here where you're able to walk through and into the bee sanctuary, where above these guys are just going to be flying around, and there's going to be a way, like a stairway, and it's going to go down. Then we're going to break away the bottom area and create room for 1 or maybe 2 bee farms. So let's get this pattern all the way around, as we are going to have a ton of windows, as I want as much light as we can get, as the bees really need that. Alright, and here is more progress as we come inside, and I have been able to get all of these walls done here, and as you guys can see, we still have a lot of open space as we need to fill that all with glass. So thankfully I've had a bunch cooking over here in this furnace, where it looks like it's either all finished or yep. Yeah, that's going to be some good amount. Now I'm going to cover all the floor with grass, as that's going to be the main ground of all of this, and then we're going to work out the path along with cover all these windows, and I'll get back to you guys with all of that. Well, it is looking much better now with some nice white glass, and you can see the grass is in there growing as well. Oh god. What is... Get out of here with this creepy music, Minecraft. Flying on down, we can come on in, where I want to figure out how I want to do this path, as I picture just a bunch of bee nests around the edge, and we can have maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe even 3 trees in here that kind of have a lot of room to grow, where the bees can just explore. Is where I want to create a lab, so I'm gonna have to dig it down a block or 2 more, as I really want a lot of space and room to make a roof that is not gonna be grass. Well, after some time, I have been able to get the basement all in order as we walk on in, and I've started a little bit of the path, and we have kind of this entrance here, and we're really going to cover this area full of greenery, so it'll all be nicely blended in. But we come on down the stairs and down this nice stairway into this large lab room. And now I don't know exactly how I'm going to plan this out, as I know I kind of want like a bedroom area, like over here maybe. But I do want to have room for probably two, one for honeycomb, one for honey bottles, and that would be really handy for the whole world. And I think it would be a really good idea to get this farms up and running before I finish the base, as we can really see how much production it can bring in. Alright, well I have collected everything in this chest for two of the automatic bee farms, so I'm ready to go. We're going to start by getting down a chest, and then we will get a hopper right into the back of it. Then we're going to get our blocks down with 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2. And then going back, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then bring that over. And now that we have our platform, we're going to start out by starting off here with a nice little powered rail action. And we're just going to take it all the way around, as we're going to have this minecart hopper going underneath. And when I have it all done and I put the lever down, I now have a nice little minecart track for it to flow back and forward on. So now let's just duplicate this process on the other side, as we are going to make two of these farms. And ooh, just like that, we have two of those up and running, and we kind of get an idea of how it's going to use up the space, and I really think I can work with this. So next we are going to get a 2-layer dirt just on the front of both farms, and this is where we're going to put down the flowers, and they're going to be able to populate. And now it is time to put the dispensers in, as I just have to set up this little platform here, and I just come below and I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And until we get our beehives in here, which I have absolutely none, so we're gonna have to do that, I'm gonna just bring in these blocks here just to cover them up. And now we are able to just take off this top border that we used to put these dispensers face down. We need our area for our redstone components, so we are going to make this base here, and boom, just like that, we have a nice little place for our redstone. It is getting a little close in space back here, but we just have to bring in these redstone comparators, 5 on each side. And then to keep the power going, we want to bring in this glass right here, and we're just going to place it in right on top. Then finally just get this redstone in all over right here. And good eye if you caught this before me, but we definitely are going to have to figure out something with this exterior wise, as this is not going to work. But now it looks like all the redstone is lined up correctly. Now we got to add the borders along them. Alright, yeah, it's coming together here, and I want to just bring in a little bit of lighting right on top of their place. Then we're just going to cover all that in, as we do not want any of the bees ever getting out. So now we're into the last two steps. We're going to have to find these beehives, and we're going to want as many bees as possible in them, and then we're going to get this hopper minecart down, and we should have two fully functional farms, as we just need some glass bottles and then some shears. And so hopefully with some bone meal, we should be able to get some bee nests using the flower trick, and usually birch is usually the best one to go with. So we got that one. Let's try again. Nope, not that one. Nope. Oh, alright. That took way longer than it should have, but I have all 10 bee nests now, so we can get started with getting this all in. And I'm gonna break away these blocks that I had before, and we will place the nests on in just like that. All right, and this one is going to be the bottle one, so I want to make sure they all have a nice amount. All right, and after a little bit of panic, as I realized I left the flowers in front of the beehives and it was blocking them from getting out. Oh, I don't know how this happened. How did you get over there? Okay, well, we'll let that one start rolling, and we'll get the second one in place with shears. 3, 4, and 5. Give these guys a little breed. Now that is a lot of bees. Now they are all done. I'm just gonna cover them up. I have big plans for this area, as you know, this has to be a bee factory we have going on down here. We're gonna have to check back in on this farm, as I'm gonna do a full design later, and we have to head back on up, as we have to finish the exterior of this base, as there is no roof. So I'm gonna crack right on with it as I really have no idea exactly how I'm gonna do this. I just know I do want to give quite a bit of light coming in as kind of this greenhouse. But it looks like there was one too many for the farm, so because he was not going in any of the nests when it was time to go to sleep. So I've trapped him in here for now, and I'm gonna give him a nice little home out here eventually. And one more important thing I want to add is your honey will not go down into the hopper unless you have glass bottles in every single slot. So I'm gonna start on this side just trying to get a nice shape of the roof, and then I'll be able to fill it all in, and then we'll be able to add a bunch of glass to be able to see in from the top. And I think I'm gonna go for a light gray to kind of give a little bit of a difference and kind of blend in with the darker roof with a gray tone. So I'm not trying to block out this wood staircase, so I'm actually just going to go up one block for now, just a little placement block. And then I'm going to have that along with this stair going out, which I'll probably have going down along like this. I'm going to bring this up and let's see how this turns out as I just want to get this front side and let's see if I find something that I like. Well, just like that, I have made some sort of shape for this roof, and it's really hard to tell right now, but I did make sure to put everything in the right dimensions. The only thing that's off is just these like areas right here, but it's just focused on the roof, so I don't really think it'll matter. As we come in at the top, it's a little funny looking, but I'm gonna have all this glass along the side. I just kind of want it wrapping around, and then over here is where I think I'm gonna leave some sort of like area for an even higher part of the roof, which I actually want to add a giant bee's nest on top, which would be really cool. I am feeling really good about this roof. I still have to finish these little parts right here, but I was able to get all the glass in all over here. And you can see up here is where I want to build this giant nest that's kind of above, and I want to make out of wool a bee that's floating around, kind of showing that this is the bee factory. But I have these lovely windows out front just kind of showing off the view going out into this direction. And overall, I really enjoyed how this part came out, and I do need to add a lot more detail on these upper parts, but it's looking good so far. And let's check out how the honeycomb and honey bottles are doing down below. As we come in here, we get a good idea of the space we have, as we have a lot of space here for a tree. And I was honestly thinking, I don't know how possible it would be, but what if we had like a tree here and it like burst through the glass here, but none of the pieces made it possible for any of the bees to come out. So I don't know, that could be a good thought for the future. But coming down below into the factory, let's take a look at how they're doing. Ooh, okay, that's not too bad. And then yeah, that's some good amount of honeycomb. I think I'm gonna take all of that honeycomb and the bottles right now, as we can make 21 honeycomb and 6 honey blocks, and that is really good. This is all I have right now for honeycomb and honey blocks, but I have a really good idea for this. So let's finish this up and also finish out this, and I'll get back with you guys for the interior. Well, quite a few AFK days later, we are standing on top of our big bee's nest here, or hive, whatever you want to call it. And I was also able to make this giant bee out of wool here, and I think it just looks really nice, kind of overlooking the area. And I mean, anyone that came by into the valley would be able to know that here is clearly some sort of bee factory. I built this big nest out of honey and honeycomb, and then underneath the honey I actually put glowstone, and we're going to take a look inside in a second to see, but I think it adds a nice little touch of light all around it. But we'll just come on over here and look from a distance. So we will just stand over here, and as I'm giving you guys a little bit more of some of my friends' bases that they are currently working on, and I mean, it's just coming together. We can see how this nest looks great on top along with the bee, and I am just excited for everything to come. But we will come on down as I want to show you guys inside next. I still need to do all of the interior, and that's what we're going to get up to next, but you guys can look up and see that I filled it with some copper ore along with some of this vines to have some bees be able to go up there and just, kind of move around as it is their home. But our next step in here is going to be populating it. We need a few trees. I might still try to push it through there, but we just need area for the bees to enjoy. I need to think about that and get some of this path laid out. Alright, so I got my basic path laid out of just what I want, as this will just come on around through the sanctuary and just be able to take a nice little look around. But I want to go through the process of making a tree, as I'm going to try to fit 4 in here, but I don't really know how possible that would be. I want to start with some sort of, about 5 blocks tall for the space, and then come on around and just kind of make a little bit of a base. Now that we have something like this, we're going to come on top with a little bit of detail. Now we kind of have the base of the tree. I want to make it come over this little bit, so we'll do something like this. Maybe we'll add a slab right here, and then come on up maybe one more. Now I'm gonna bring in a little bit more of branch, so maybe I'll come out like here, along with, we'll go down one level and go out here, a little one there, and let's bring in an even lower branch over here. Now I'm gonna add the thinner branches with these fence posts, then just finishing out here with the final branch, and we get something along the lines of this, which I think I really like. Now we are gonna do the leaves, which I personally like to start with the top. Okay, and all I did was cover in the top pretty much all in just one layer. That's all you really need. And then we're going to come down here to the bottom, and sometimes you can really get a good look with just leaving the bottom out. Kind of gives that acacia vibe. It's not what we are going to go for here, as we kind of really want to give in this full lush green vibe. But okay, I want to give it a little room to breathe, so I left some of the inner branches open. But this, I think, is just about the final look of the tree I'm going to go for. Now that I kind of went through how I'm going to be building these trees, let's go ahead and see what we can do with the rest. Had to take a small break for some lovely leaf chopping. Well, just like that, we have a full roof of greenery, which is really nice. As you guys can see, we were able to make the 4 trees. One of them did end up being one of these more Christmas types, but it's good to throw in a little variety for the bees. But I'm really happy with how all 3 of these came out. And the hopes is that the bees will enjoy it as much as I do, along with being able to fly on through and up to their nest up there. Maybe I could put the bee nest up there and then put flowers down here, so every single morning they would fly on down and then fly on back up. But I'm gonna need to do a little research on how far they're able to travel away from their nest. While we figure that out, let me get some decoration down. I'll get a little bit of coarse dirt, maybe some flowers. I got 2 bee nests that I'm gonna populate in here, so let's just put one down. I don't know if I kind of want it on the ceiling so it's kind of able to be seen, but it doesn't really matter, as we'll throw one down there. Let's do another one. Let's do a little lower right here. Welcome to your new nest. You're not gonna find any flowers up there though, so I really hope you guys come down. So let's just get all these guys breeded up though. I just want to really repopulate them. I know I already have a bunch down there. Hey, I'm talking right now. Once I'm finishing all of this, I'll be able to work on the lab down below, and then we'll be able to call it an episode, as it's really been great so far, and I hope you guys have enjoyed. And make sure to like and subscribe. And now who this is making me sleep. You guys did not touch, but this place is coming together. I am loving how this feels. This is so nice being able to walk around and just enjoy the bees in this sanctuary. But it looks like these guys are really enjoying life, so I'm gonna head down to the factory where, well, they are not enjoying life so much. But I have a lot of plans for this area. As first, I want to clean up this farm and then maybe create a little storage area back there. But I want to make sure I have a distribution pipe of the honey being able to go out, and that's where the supply shop would be, outside that way. Along with having a nice little living quarters room, maybe over in this direction, but I want to try to give the room a big open feel. We also have to figure out where to put this guy, as he needs an official home. I've been hearing so many mob sounds below, so I went to go check it out, and I was met to so many zombies. This was the closest I've been to dying in a minute. It was crazy. Okay guys, well, I was able to do a bunch downstairs, and I'm about to show you guys, as I need to AFK a bunch more honey. Without further ado, we'll come down the stairs. We have a nice little carpet here, and you can see that our bee friend is gone, as he has been moved. But here it is, as we have these pipes here along with this one that's actually going to be leading out. You can kind of see out there the copper bit, but we have a few barrels of honey around here along with our collection here, which we have been really building up the honeycomb, but the honey has really been struggling. But back here is just where we go on up to put the bottles back, and we just have a lovely honey waterfall over here. And then up here, you'll see the little bee, and this is his bedroom slash office where he's able to work and get a great view outside. And I mean, he has everything he needs here. He has his bed, he has his flowers, he has a lovely decoration, and this is Kingsley here. So I'm really happy to give him his own place, and he's able to look out into the factory and see what's going on. Really love how all of this came out, as all the resin is showing like a little honey droplets. The detail is just perfect, and I think it is complete. Then if we come on up here for the last time, we'll just take it all in, as everything looks great and it's all grown in, and the honey is all full as the bees are loving everything. And even up there, the bees are just flourishing. It's just an awesome time here. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching, as this is where we're going to be working next episode, along with over there where kind of the lava factory little area is. But I'm really excited for the future, and I hope you guys have enjoyed episode 1 as I really have. And I'm just really excited to see where this playthrough goes, as this really is going to be my forever world. So I'm so excited to share this with you guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe, as I'll be making more content weekly. But I will catch you guys next time, as it's been Pheasant. See ya.